1. Beauty is not in the skin but in the depth of the eyes. In the past, when she was young, and was always self-conscious about her appearance, she did not have white skin, did not have a standard body like the models in magazines. She was quiet at parties, afraid to communicate, always felt inferior. Until one day she heard a saying. The greatest charm of a woman is a look that knows how to listen and a mind that knows how to reflect. That saying seemed to touch something deep in her heart. And she began her journey of learning, not to be better than others, but to become a sharper and more confident version of herself. 2. Knowledge makes a woman self-possessed. There is a simple truth that few people say. A woman who studies a lot is not to fight, but to be calm. Because when you understand how the world works, you will no longer be troubled by judgments. When you clearly know your own worth, you do not need anyone to acknowledge it. And when you clearly see the nature of life, you will stop chasing after frivolous things. Knowledge does not make women dry, but makes them calm and profound. It is a beauty that is quiet but lasting, like still water, like a gentle light shining from within. 3. An educated woman does not need to be noisy to stand out. Have you noticed that, in a crowded room, the woman who attracts attention is not the one who talks the most, or dresses the most beautifully, but the one who listens with a calm gaze, says everything sharply without showing off. That is the beauty of intelligence that has settled into aura. No need to force, no need to show off, she just needs to be present in the right way, and others will feel it for themselves. Because true knowledge is not noisy. It is like a scent, invisible but makes people want to get close. 4. Learn to know how to love yourself unconditionally. Women are often taught to love others, to sacrifice, to take care of their families. But very few are taught how to love themselves properly. Only when you learn, do you begin to understand the mechanism of emotions, behaviors, and self-worth. Only when you learn, will you see. No one is allowed to make you feel less valuable. No one has the right to control your emotions. And you don't need to be the perfect version to be loved. The more a woman learns, the more she forgives herself. The more she understands, the less she judges herself. And from there, a gentle, mature, and graceful beauty begins to blossom. 5. Learn to be free from stereotypes. How long have you been obsessed with the standards? Girls must be white. A beautiful woman is valuable. A 30-year-old unmarried woman is a failure. These invisible stereotypes make millions of women live without daring to be themselves. But when you study, especially study psychology, philosophy of life, social history, you begin to remove layers of prejudice that have been imposed on you since childhood. You realize, you don't have to race against age. Happiness doesn't lie in keeping up with others, but in keeping up with yourself, step by step. At that time, you are free, and the most beautiful thing is when you are free. 6. Min, a single mother rewrites her life through education. Min used to be a single mother, working as a janitor at a small hospital. She once thought her life was over. No degree, no one to support her, raising a small child alone. One day, Min was given a book on time management and self-development. She didn't understand everything she read, but it felt like a ray of light had shone into her gray life. She started borrowing books from the library and studying online at night when her children were asleep. 3 years later, Min had a skills certificate and applied to work as a receptionist. From reception, she learned English, communication, and data management. Finally, she became an office assistant. No one believed that someone like me could go this far, Min said. But I believed. Because I studied. 7. Eternal charm comes from maturity. Youth brings vitality. But adulthood, with its accompanying knowledge, brings inimitable charm. It is the subtlety in choosing words to say, the flexibility in handling conflicts, the calmness in the face of gossip, the stability in the midst of storms. A woman who has learned, lived, and understood will no longer need to compete to stand out, because she knew who she was, and that was enough. Women learn to lead, not just follow. In the past, women were often taught to follow, support, and stand behind. But women of this era need to learn to lead. Not only in work but also in the family. She can teach her children how to think critically. She can discuss investment and life orientation with her husband. She can stand in front of a crowd and inspire instead of just sitting and listening. Because the learner has the right to speak up. And the voice of an intelligent woman always makes people listen. 9. The more she learns, the more women know how to choose what is worthy. Knowledge does not make you successful immediately, but it helps you know how to choose what is worthy of you. You no longer love someone just because of sweet words. You no longer shop just to fill your emotions. You no longer spend time on toxic relationships. Instead, you invest in your health, your spirit. You build meaningful relationships. You seek growth, not temporary recognition. And each of those right choices makes you more beautiful, inside and out. 10. Learn and not to prove anything to anyone but to live deeply. There will come a time when you no longer learn because you want to be better than others, but because you love to deeply understand everything around you. You learn about human psychology, to empathize. You learn about philosophy, to understand the meaning of life. You learn about history, to know where you stand in the flow of humanity. And then, it is that depth that makes you unique. No longer a copy of anyone. No more comparison or competition. You are yourself fully and brilliantly. Conclusion. Wisdom, the eternal jewelry. There is nothing wrong with women wanting to be beautiful. But true beauty is something that is not swept away by time. Makeup can make you radiant for a few hours. Beautiful clothes can attract the eyes for a few minutes. But wisdom will make you shine for a lifetime. So learn, whether you are 20, 30 or 50 years old. Learn, whether you are at the top or the bottom. Learn, not for anyone but because you deserve to live a deep and beautiful life.